This is the Valve Index and I've now been using it for 3 days. In this video, I'm going to share my impressions after these 3 days with you. So this is not the full MRTV review. This will take a bit longer because I really want to understand this headset, but I already formed my first impressions and I do want to share them with you. And I'm going to start right now. So I really like this headset and it's a fantastic VR headset. Now, is it the best VR headset? Well, it's not the best VR headset in each and every category, and it does have its flaws, and I'm going to talk about the flaws as well in this video. But as an overall package, it's fantastic, and it is the best VR headset for the VR enthusiast. All of the details in this video, and it's coming up. Hi and welcome to MRTV. My name is Sebastian Ang. If this is your first time here, if you're just as excited about VR and AR as me, and if you appreciate independent reviews, then subscribe to this channel and click on the bell button so don't miss anything. Let's not beat around the bush and directly get into it. What is great, what is good, and where are the flaws? So let's start with what is great. And well, we can directly start with the comfort of this headset. This headset is incredibly comfortable. It is really fascinating how comfortable this headset is. So even though it is a bit heavier than some of the competition, you don't feel the weight at all. It sits super balanced on your head, and this part here, it truly hugs your head and it just feels good. You will forget that you're wearing it and you will be able to wear it for hours and hours. It is truly great, and I like how they've built it here with the knob. It reminds us, of course, of the deluxe audio strap, but it's even better than the deluxe audio strap. So here we have it, the first best in class, and a big thumbs up. The next great point I want to mention is the build quality. This headset simply oozes quality. It feels like a Mercedes-Benz of the VR headsets if you would like to compare it with cars. It just feels premium. And if you directly compare that with other headsets, well, then these other headset manufacturers can definitely learn something from Valve. Simply look at it and you will see already like how well built this looks. And of course, if you have it in your hands like I do, you will just see and feel how great it is. Like everything about this headset feels quality. Like the facial padding, the material that is used, it's some microfiber material, how you can easily get it off with magnets and how well it fits here. Like the knobs, how well you can use them. Everything just feels premium, and definitely also for the build quality, this is best in class, and I'm sure this is going to last for a long time. Now we're still in the what's great category. So what else is great about the Valve Index? And without a doubt, we still have some more best in class. And I can tell you the mic and the audio solution, the headphones are also best in class. Let's start with the microphone. So in future gameplay videos that I'm going to do, I don't need any more extra clip-on microphone. I can simply use the microphone of the Valve Index since it is fantastic. It sounds so clear, and this is indeed, again, the best in class microphone that I've heard in virtual reality so far. Same goes for the headphones. Now the headphones are really interesting since, as you know, they don't touch the ears, but they hover over the ears. And it's like you have some two mini speakers that are hovering over your ears, and they give you a great sound. The bass sounds great, the mids, the highs, the whole spectrum sounds really fantastic. And yeah, you can completely delve into the game. However, your environment is not really going to hear what you hear. So they've done a great job here, and that is a big plus. So I really like those headphones. They sound great and they don't touch your ears, so you can even stay in VR longer without having a bad feeling about like your ears yeah, hurting because of the pressure of any headphones. So without a doubt, this solution is amazing. Again, best in class for audio and the mic. Another great thing about the Valve Index package are the Valve Index controllers, the Knuckles controllers. They are truly amazing. As you know, lots of people have already talked about them. You are now free to hold them like this because they kind of stick to your hands because of this strap, and that's truly freeing. So now you can throw that grenade or you can high five. That's truly amazing. Also, it comes with this finger tracking where your fingers are tracked in VR. So now you can play rock, paper, scissors. And yeah, it works really good. So also, these are my favorite controllers. However, I must also tell you that I think that Valve could even have made them better. So it is all right here with the stick and the thumb pad and those buttons most of the time. But for example, with the menu button here, the menu button, whenever I have to press it for my big fingers, it's a bit hard to press that button. Also in general, I feel these are okay. They feel okay in my hand. It's good for big hands, but I think they could have made them a bit more ergonomic. So in terms of ergonomics, actually, I prefer the Oculus Touch controllers. But because of these amazing strap and the great finger tracking and overall the functionality of this controller, because it also has like a squeeze function where it would measure how hard you squeeze. Because of all these functionalities, still this at the moment is my favorite controller. It is great and also best in class, but I still think that Valve could have done a bit better job. But still at this moment in time, I believe that this is, well, at least my favorite controller in VR at the moment. Now, very closely related to the controllers is the overall tracking. And also here we have another best in class, and it's the lighthouse tracking. The headset and the controllers are being tracked by the Valve Lighthouse tracking system, where you have to set up 2 base stations and you will be tracked perfectly. No matter where your controller is, you can hold it behind your back for like seconds or minutes or hours if you want, and it will still be tracked. So this is the perfect tracking. It has big advantages over the inside-out tracking of the Windows Mixed Reality headsets and the Rift S and the upcoming Cosmos. So also here we have a best in class. However, I must also tell you, yes, you do have to set up those base stations, and for those people who would like to have a more mobile solution, for those who would like to bring the headset to a friend's house, for example, in this moment, this will be a disadvantage because, well, you have to get those base stations and install them at your friend's house. So for these situations, the inside-out tracking of other headset might be better. But if you simply want the best tracking, then it is the Lighthouse tracking of the Valve Index. And of course, this tracking is also being used for the Vive Pro, and the Pimax. Now let's talk about the areas of the Valve Index where it's good but not best in class. And let's start with the displays. The displays both have a resolution of 1600 times 1440 pixels per eye, and they have a maximum panel refresh rate of 144 Hertz. And this part actually is again best in class, but I'm going to talk about those panel refresh rates in a moment. It's an LCD display, and we have 3 subpixels per pixels, RGB stripe. Now, how does the display look? How do the displays look? Well, they look good. They look really good. We have a very nice picture. And if I would have to compare the picture against the other headsets on the market, well, the picture looks better than the picture of the Vive Pro. The picture looks better than the picture of the Rift S, and the picture also looks better than the picture of the Pimax 5K Plus and the Pimax 8K, and also the Pimax 5K XR, the OLED version, as what the screen door effect is concerned. So we have a really good picture and it's better than most other headset, but it's not best in class. So I must tell you, honestly, when I first looked through it, I was not blown away. So the difference from this to the Rift S, for example, it's not like mind-blowing. If you're coming from the Rift S and if you're then wearing this headset, you will see like, yes, it does look better. And I'm going to show you through the lens picture right now. But it is not like blowing me away. So in direct comparison, for example, with the HP Reverb that has a resolution of 2160 times 2160 pixels, well, I was more blown away by that picture. However, the HP Reverb unfortunately also has flaws, so well, that is a bit complicated to directly compare, but I just simply want to let you know you will probably not be blown away, and the picture quality is good, but it's not the best in class. Also, you're probably wondering, can you still see screen door effect? And I can tell you, yes, you can still see screen door effect. If you want to see it, you can see it, but normally during gameplay you will forget about it easily, since the fill factor is indeed good, and again, the picture quality looks better than the Pimax 5K Plus, it looks better than the Vive Pro, so yeah, it is a good picture. So my first impressions after 3 days of looking at this display, it's a good display. It's a very good display, but it's not like pushing any boundaries, and it's not like the best display out there. Also, well, it's an LCD display, so you do have blacks that are not perfectly pitch black like OLED headsets can do that. Like that's one advantage of the Vive Pro, for example, of the Samsung Odyssey Plus, which do have OLED displays and which do have pitch black blacks. However, still the blacks are acceptable, and you will be able to play Elite Dangerous, and it is going to look good. But if you do A/B comparisons, then well, it's going to lose against OLED panels. So now let's talk about the refresh rate. So yes, you can run this at 120 Hertz, and you can even run this at 144 Hertz. Now I must tell you that perceptions of these kind of things like refresh rates are completely different from person to person. So one person will see a difference between like 80 Hertz and 120 Hertz, and another person will not be able to do so. And now I belong to the category, for me it's tough to see like a huge day and night difference between those Hertz numbers. So I played games that actually my GPU can support at 144 Hertz. So I played Space Pirate Trainer at 144 Hertz, and I also played Space Pirate Trainer at 80 Hertz. And honestly speaking, for me personally, I did not see that night and day difference. I could enjoy it at 80 Hertz, and I also, of course, could enjoy it at 144 Hertz. So I believe it depends on the person if it's a big deal for you, and also it might depend on the game as well. So I've heard with table tennis games or like ball sports games, it might be much better to play at those high frame rates. But for me personally, I must tell you that I prefer to put it at 90 Hertz and instead dial up the super sampling. Because for me, dialing up the super sampling will make a much bigger impression on the picture, and it just looks much better. So instead of having the game run at 120 Hertz or 144 Hertz and having that high refresh rate, I'd rather have it run at 90 Hertz and make the picture look better. Another thing that is good, actually really good, but not best in class, is the FOV. So yes, indeed, there is more FOV. It's better than the Oculus Rift S, the Rift CV1, and the Vive Pro, and also the Samsung Odyssey Plus. And the Samsung Odyssey Plus so far has actually been the one with the biggest FOV of those standard 110 degrees FOV headsets. So yes, when they say it's around 130 degrees diagonally, I can say yes, they are right. It is truly like this, and you do feel the difference. You don't feel as restricted as with the other headsets, and it does not feel like you're looking through these toilet paper rolls. So yes, it is a very, very nice step up. It will help you with immersion, and it's truly good. It's really, really nice, and also especially like vertically, the vertical FOV, it feels amazing. And that was like a very weak part of the HP Reverb. That vertical FOV, it simply didn't feel right. But here you don't have that problem. You have a better vertical FOV, and you also have a better horizontal FOV. So yeah, this is really good. Why not best in class? Well, still the Pimax is still reigning supreme here when it comes to the FOV, and this cannot be touched by the Valve Index. So even on the smallest setting of the Pimax, it's still bigger than the FOV of the Valve Index. So if you're into the biggest and best FOV, still the Pimax is the right headset to go for. Now let's talk about the flaws of this device. And it also does have flaws, and for me the main flaw of the device are the God rays. Yes, unfortunately the lenses are built in a way, well, they are Fresnel lenses and they do have God rays. However, we also see other Fresnel lenses, like for example the Oculus Rift S displays, which are also Fresnel lenses, and they don't have God rays. Unfortunately, yes, the Valve Index does have God rays. Now, what does it mean? Well, in high contrast scenes where everything is black and then you have some bright logo or some white text, well, you will see these God rays, this kind of flare. And well, that is not nice. Honestly speaking, that's not nice, and that is distracting. So how bad are these God rays? Well, I can tell you they are not as bad as the God rays of the Oculus CV1, the Rift CV1, and they are also not as bad as the God rays of the Vive and the Vive Pro. And I took a video of this and I'm showing you this probably right in this moment. So not as bad as Vive and Vive Pro and Rift CV1. But, well, the Pimax, for example, it does not have these kind of God rays. And also the Rift S and the Quest and all these headsets, they don't have this kind of God ray problem, so that is unfortunate. Now, is this a showstopper for me personally? Even though I don't like God rays, I must tell you, no. Because, well, these high contrast scenes don't really happen that often. And in most of the time, there are no God rays, right? Just in these super high contrast scenes. So for me, that's not a showstopper, but indeed, it is a flaw that I do need to mention here. Another flaw that is not as bad as the God rays, but still it's a flaw, is that the headset gets really, really warm. Well, not the whole headset, but especially that area here, that front area. So if you play for an hour or so, this will get really, really warm, or even hot, I would say. So yeah, you can feel it if you touch it here. So does that like affect my personal gameplay? Not really, because it does not reach your eye area. So it doesn't go through the lenses. So this heat doesn't like go into your head. At least I did not feel it after these 3 days of playing. And it is simply a little flaw. It would be better if it would not get so hot. So definitely I also want to mention this here. So these are my impressions after 3 days. As you could tell, there are lots of best in class here, and there are also some really good parts of this headset. And yes, there are also some flaws. But as an overall package, looking at this overall package, I would say that yes, this is an amazing VR headset. And yes, indeed, for VR enthusiasts who simply want to have the best that money can buy, this is a great choice, and I can truly recommend it to those VR enthusiasts who simply want to have the best that money can buy at the moment. Now, is it the best VR headset for everyone? Well, no. The Rift S is an amazing headset as well. I truly love the Rift S as well, and for $399 for the complete package, actually they deliver more VR more VR bang for the buck. So definitely the Rift S is also an amazing choice for people who want to get into VR. And even though, yes, the Valve Index is better in so many ways, it is not so much better. So if you are wondering, do you need to get this? Well, you can get this if you want the best in all these categories that I've just named. But if you still want to have a great, really great and amazing experience in VR, you can also have that with the Rift S. And that's it for my Valve Index review after 3 days. Again, that's not the full MRTV review, but I want to give you my impressions after 3 days. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you give it a thumbs up? And of course, if you have not yet subscribed to MRTV yet, do so now. And don't forget to click on the bell button so don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And now, I'm looking forward to see you in the next episode.